He is unique among men. He's just one of the most incredible human beings I've ever met in my life. I mean, the man, as far as I'm concerned, is probably the best power trainer in North America.
Down and drive. Push! Now down and right up. Push! That's it. Very good.
Bus really cares. If you're here or you're not here, he knows, and he makes sure that you're aware of it when you miss a workout.
You've been drinking alcohol again.
How'd you guess?
Because it smells like gasoline.
The only way I can face this place.
He's a remarkable person. He doesn't want for much. Happy with his life. Charges less than he should.
The fees you pay as you go, $2.25 a workout.
Close that door!
He can get in to suit his own time.
But he's content. He doesn't drive a car, he doesn't drink. He doesn't have a need for money. He's a very, very down-to-earth guy. You can't find people like him anywhere.
No victims?
No victims.
It's a laugh the way he dresses, but that's Buster.
Well, my father back in the old country, I think it was his grandfather, was a strong man. He won a couple of contests over there when he was young. Came to Canada in 1910, actually. In 1913, he got into the business. He's been going ever since then. I didn't intend really to get into the business. The war came along. I was in the war for 3 years. Came back. He wasn't in too good a health at the time, so I helped him out. When he passed away, I had nothing else to do, so I kept going. Some of them are as old as 1915. They're still going. They're still on the floor, still being used. Haven't lost any of their weight yet. Guys have keys. They come in sometimes 7:15. There may be as many as 6 or 7 guys here before I arrive. Sometimes there have been some in and out before I get here. Then you get the school kids coming in later on. Then you get the worker coming in later on. Then you get the after-supper crowd in. And it's pretty steady all day long. Last night, for example, I think I finished here at 25 minutes to 11. Time got straightened out. It was 11 o'clock when we left.
It's the same that he spends 6 days a week there. The gym is only open 3 days a week, but he won't allow anybody to clean the place. He's got to do it all by himself. He'll dust every piece of those old weights. He vacuums the place himself. He washes the shower on his knees.
And the gym itself, I mean, you've seen it. It's from out of the East Side kids. I mean, with the one shower and the one toilet. And if you flush the toilet when someone's in the shower, you scald them to death. And it's always been like that. It's like an oasis in the desert. You walk in there, it doesn't matter what the hell's happening out there and who's yelled at you and who's chasing you or who you're chasing. Everything just peels away and you get back down to basic pump and iron.
There's a difference between weightlifting and weight training. Weightlifting's a sport. It comes down to weight training. It's a battle between the weights and the individual. They get the satisfaction out of it. And it seems to more or less balance themselves during the day as far as their feelings are concerned. They may be on edge when they come in here, but when they leave, they're as calm as can be. It's like good medicine.
I love you too.
I'm sorry.
2 more.
He once was approached by 2 brothers who used to go there years and years ago, I guess in the 60s. And these were very, very successful businessmen. I mean, multimillionaires. And they approached Buster, and I mean, I'm not saying this as hearsay. I was there. I heard this. And they said to him that they owned a number of office buildings downtown. And that what they were proposing is that they would set up a gym for him, any way he wanted it. Set it up, and then give it to him. Just so that they would have the convenience of working out at the gym right by their offices, so they wouldn't have to make this trip up to Bloor and Euclid. And they said, you know, it's not really, I mean, it's not a charity thing. This is going to be for us. We're using space we can't rent. It's not costing us anything. We're not going to, I mean, this is your gym. We don't want to be partners. But we're going to set it up. We'll have a sauna. We'll have, maybe we'll have 3 showers instead of 1. You know, we'll make this really plush stuff. And you go in there, you charge what you want to do. Exactly, it's yours. You do your thing. I says, nope. I don't understand what you mean by no. He said, no, I don't want a social club. I want a place where people are going to go to work out, not to have a sauna or to have a shower. I want them here to lift weights. That's what I do.
Down and drive it. Push! That's it, boy.
Now, old Mac that comes in the morning, he started the gym in 1927. And he's been coming off and on since then. He is now 85 years old.
The reason why people pop off at 80, 75, 80, 85, I figure this, that if you got any bad habits, you got to start at 60 and get rid of one each year. See, the trouble is people try to get rid of 4 or 5 1 year, you see, and that don't work. I'm training to lift till I'm 102.
My head is put together a lot better when I take my hour-and-a-half workout 3 times a week. And I go out of there. It's hard to get there to start, but once you're out, you feel like $1 million. Anything I do, whether I bowl or business, or your brains are working a lot better when you're healthier and you're in condition.
Oh, shit, this tail's bad again.
Anybody who lights a cigarette in the gym should be shot and pissed on.
I don't mind being shot.
You don't have to tell me you're smoking. I can just feel you light the match, and I can smell it. It stinks. The camaraderie there is beautiful. You have young people, you have old people, you have businessmen, you have lawyers, they're a good bunch of kids in there.
Switch your back for your back.
What was the other thing?
That isn't for your back, Bert.
Feel like a kid. Every time I say that, my wife gets mad.
You might even be staying.
The doctor says never lift another weight. The worst thing you can do is kill you.
I'd be a nothing if I hadn't been here. I got crushed between 2 rigs. 2 tractor trailers I was crushed. They're both fully loaded. Each had 100,000 payload on each one. After working out here 6 months, I could walk the whole block without stopping. After a year, I could do the whole city block walking fast. Then after the full year, I could jog the block. I owe an awful lot to him. I guess a lot of myself too, because I did a lot of the work, but he's one that encouraged it.
Drive it.
Always his attitude was that you only work out no more than 3 times a week. And these are an alternative days, and you allow the muscles to heal or to absorb the workout for 48 hours, and then you go back and you do it again. So that he was only open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for people interested in weight training. And for years, he would open Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday and do specialty work.
So I got most of my flexibility. It's like I can go down.
Well, for instance, there's a kid now, well, I guess he's in his 30s now, but started when he was 8. And I was there when he started, and he could hardly talk. I mean, this disease had affected his whole body. He could barely walk. He was just almost like a vegetable. one of the things that he got the kid to do was just to climb up the stairs by himself and walk around weights that he'd put in the middle of the floor. And he'd start training him, and built this kid's ego up now that he's sufficiently independent now, that he works for his dad, he does his own banking, and he is just absolutely an amazing, it's almost a miracle cure. It's a phenomenal sense of accomplishment to see some fat, wheezing, sickly guy that staggers in there like me, like I did after 10 years of being away, and mold him. I mean, sculpt him almost. I mean, it's like that. And watch him develop and watch him build confidence and build his ego up and start to lift heavier weights. And I mean, that's got to be a phenomenal challenge for him.
Oh, you poor fella.
As a kid, I used to walk by there and see the pictures on the wall behind the glass next to the store. And I always thought that someday I'd go in there and build myself up. And that didn't happen until I was 30 years old. I'm now 63 years old, almost 64. And I think if it hadn't been for this place, I certainly would not have been as actively involved in my business and social life as I am. Well, Bus is the reason that I've kept coming all these years. I don't think that if Bus had not been here, I would have been able to maintain the level of involvement and the commitment it takes, because it's not easy to do all that lifting, and to be committed to a workout over a long period of time. I think you need the kind of catalyst that Bus offers. He's made this place into a very social place, as well as a place where you can do your workout.
Stay there now, Dad. No. Lift your head up. Okay, up you get.
My motivation was initially my own self, building myself up and getting into better shape, looking better, feeling better. But it became a lot more than that over the years, and it became a sort of an escape from pressures outside of this gym, business pressures primarily. It's almost as much a mental release as it is a physical build-up. I only have to look around at my contemporaries who didn't go into any kind of physical routine over the years and see where they are and where I feel I am. There's no question that the gym has made a big difference in my life, physically and mentally.
Good boy.
A lot of others, like Henry that comes here, he's a colored boy. He was a 320-pound slob. In 2 years, he has a magnificent physique, and he's still at it. I think in 4 years, he's missed 2 days. He's still going strong. There's a few others like that. Lost weight, others have put on weight. Some guys have put on as much as 60 pounds in a year.
Try and eat a good solid breakfast if you can. Like a bran flakes, shredded wheat, anything like that. Corn flakes and that is garbage. Get into the brains.
Have kids that come here that want to play hockey, that are in hockey, they want to put on weight. I tell them to eat more, especially spaghetti. In no time, in a couple of months, they put on 20 pounds. Helps them in their hockey.
I've tried other gyms over the years in the States and in Canada. They're just not the same. Bus is totally committed to what he's doing and has been over the years, much beyond a business approach. And that casual atmosphere, I think, is what makes it work. Both Bus and Shirley are very important to me, and I'm sure to everyone else in the gym.
Listen to me. Listen, down. Don't do anything but straighten them on the mat. Straighten them on. Don't do anything. Get those elbows back up. Nothing.
Holy.
That way.
You know, the 9 years I've been coming here, it's like Buster's never told me anything that, you know, didn't work out. It's like when I first came here, it was all anxious, you know, gotta gain, you know, and you keep telling, oh, you gotta eat this, you gotta do this, just follow what I say. And after about 3-4 months, things start happening, you know. It's addictive, and it's something that, you know, people say to me, well, you basically have to do that for the rest of your life, and I say, right, and it's like no problem with me.
Push! Come on. Don't touch it, David. Don't touch it. White man, you can help. Black man, you leave him alone. No, you better take it out. He hasn't come to yet.
And I don't think there's anybody that I've come across in the whole, you know, system that has the knowledge that he has. And I don't think they will either, because he brought the knowledge from way back then and he's got it here now.
Once you walk into that gymnasium, it doesn't matter what you are. I mean, I've seen judges there and lawyers, motorcycle gang members and criminals, crown attorneys, doctors. I mean, right across the board. And once you're there and you're in your gym suit, it doesn't matter what you do or what respect you have on the outside. Buster will call you a bum if you screw up an exercise, I mean, whether you're a judge or you're a street kid. I don't think there's anyone that lasts there longer than 5 minutes with his ego.
No discrimination. We don't allow Italians in. We don't allow Portuguese in. No coloreds, and very few whites.
I'm sure he's never sat down and said, why the hell am I doing this? Because I don't think he couldn't picture himself doing anything else. I mean, this is his life. And, I mean, he makes a phenomenal contribution. I don't think he realizes what kind of a contribution he makes to these people. He would just sort of brush it off like, you know, garbage. I mean, I train people. I tell them to lift weights. That's what I do. Well, that isn't what he does at all.
Come on, Mark, push!
You can't get looked after the way you get looked after here. It's the man just knows what you're doing, and he's on top of everything all the time. Even though it's amazing, in an afternoon I walked in there sometimes when I'm late, and I can't believe what I see going on in there. It's just a swarm of people.
It's like any other club, more or less, eh? You have your high ones, you have your low ones. Have you ever hearing around about 5:30? The babble that goes on?
Good boy. Right, push! Yep. That's it.
And the days go by so fast, it's unreal. Once Monday goes, it's Friday. That's the way it goes. Boom.
My side?
The law, come up here.
Do you want them in order of...
Any old place.
I don't think I'd change it for anything. If I had to do it all over again, I'd do the same darn thing.
What you did, I left it and you just pulled it over on your chest.
Instead of locking it and then bringing it down.
Have another drink.
Can I try one more?
No, get in there.
No, one more, please.
Get.
When the weights tell me to retire, I'll retire. And they're pretty dumb.
Say goodnight, you old bugger.
Good night, Joe Bugger.
Good night, you old bag.
He's a psychiatrist, he's a psychologist, he's a mentor, he's everything. All rolled into 143 pounds soaking wet.
you. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you all. But the love of my life is the director, the stars, the cast, and the crew of The Lady Named Punchline. Thank you. God bless you.
Well, let's see. We just got these x-rays back from the lab. Let's take a look.
We were making love the other night. I felt he was holding back. So I said, sweetheart, we've been married for 15 years. When we make love, I don't want you to hold back. I want you to do whatever you want to do. So you know what he did? He threw up.
From the beginning of filming Punchline, I was concerned that neither Sally Field nor Tom Hanks would be able to pull off stand-up comedy. And I didn't know until they appeared on stage and the cameras were slated and rolling that they were going to be able to do it.
Are people with satellite dishes, huh? People with satellite dishes?
I knew right off the bat that if I was going to be involved in this, it was going to require me getting up and working on some sort of stand-up act for not a short period of time. I talked with David Seltzer about this right away. I said, well, whoever does this part has to go out into the clubs. And not so much to feel like what it's like to get up and perform in front of people, but to get up and feel what it's like when you really stink and people don't like you and you're not bad. And I went out and I really stank a number of times.
Paying attention, everybody.
I didn't do nearly as much stand-up in preparation as Tom Hanks did. But as I look back on it now, it's probably the best way to do it because Lila is supposed to be so new that it would have felt more comfortable for me to have tried it out everywhere. But the truth of the matter is that she's so new and fresh, and it's all such a beginning thing, that my look on stage is also new and fresh, is all such a beginning thing, is real. You know, I'm going to go, ah! I'm Lila, and I'm a housewife, I'll admit to that. And I live in New Jersey, so you see, I'll admit to anything.
Before we ever went into rehearsal for Punchline, I hired what I called comedy bodyguards. And I think without these coaches, or what I call comedy bodyguards, Sally and Tom would have had a much less direct route to success in getting a grip on their characters.
First of all, I'm very curious how this term coach started. What, these guys have whistles and clipboards and make me do 6-count burpees or something like that?
How do you get to be a comedy coach? Tom Hanks, David Seltzer, Sally Field, and not Fields. Field, it's not a lot, it's just one woman, not a lot. They see you in a club. They say, we need someone to help write some jokes, yo, 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 blah, blah, blah. And I would say, yo, 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 blah, blah, blah. That's the way people in Hollywood talk.
Got on this tour bus, remember this guy, Tommy Chen, and Tommy Chen was making it up as he went along. Oh, okay, that over there, Central Park. It named after cousin to very famous Korean Thompson Park.
Now, teaching Tom Hanks and writing material wasn't like, you know, Tom Hanks, like, okay, write me stuff. He comes in with ideas, and the thing that Tom and I laughed at the most was this thing about superheroes, and it was his idea. So they have jive superpowers. Wonder Woman has an invisible jet. How does she find it? Does she grope around the runway till she gets lucky?
Oh, here it is. What did the control tower tell her? We think you have clearance. Can anybody be a superhero? Table man. He solves crimes at dinner for 4.
I worked very closely with two people, Susie Essman and Dottie Archibald. They were really my teachers and my coaches and my authors and everything.
Sally Field is very interesting for me to work with because I have never worked with an actress who has spent so much time cultivating her instrument, as she calls it, her work. And I would not see her doing it externally. Sally would be working on it, but we wouldn't see it, and I would be like, whoa, I would be very nervous. But then when it came to the day for her to do it, she would be right there doing it.
You're never on solid ground. I've been married to my husband for 15 years. Sometimes he comes home and I look at him and say, who is this man? How did he get in my house? I've never seen him before in my life. and other times our identities meld. I mean, I don't know where he ends and I begin, except in bed, when he's usually ending just when I'm beginning.
You can't teach someone to be funny. You can teach someone techniques of getting across their humor to the audience. But Sally Field is a funny human being.
What is your name, sir?
Sam.
You're a happy guy, Sam. What are they pumping into your nostrils here? What is this concoction? You're turning blue, Sam. Why is that? You're turning blue. Oh, good God, I'm standing on his air hose. It is an incredible sense of power and accomplishment when you were in front of 300 people and you were making them laugh and they were listening to everything you say, and everything you say works perfectly, and every joke you hit is timed absolutely, and every routine goes off exactly as you were hoping for. It's an incredible thing.
I love you, ladies and gentlemen, but the love of my life is the lady named comedy.
Stand-up is an extremely hard life. It's a hard lifestyle. It's not an easy way to live.